how to make the best steak marinade ever. Hey, this is my special recipe that I use a lot to marinate, especially my red meats. You're gonna love this marinade. So I'm Chef Don McMillan. I've been cooking for over 6 decades, been traveling, visited every continent as well as over 64 countries. And when I travel, I like to go into the communities. I like to find out what's going on, what's cooking. Yes, what's cooking, because when I do that, then I increase my knowledge. And when I do that also, it enables me to share, because there's so much going on in this wonderful world that we live in, and food is at the center of all of it. Yes, it is. So let's get to the heart of this matter and teaching you about my marinade. And while I'm doing that, go ahead and click that like button. Also subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and hit the share button, because please, we'd love to have you share this with your family, with your friends, with people who just love to cook and share good food. So this marinade that I make, we're gonna use a steak. We got a beautiful ribeye steak. So my word of caution is that this is for flavor. If you're gonna flavor a steak, you've got a nice tender piece of meat, you don't need to marinate it overnight. This marinade would work perfectly in about an hour, 2 at the most. Now, if you have a tougher cut of meat, and I've done this a lot, you know, I did a cooking series for a show called O'Neill Outdoors. And for that, I did 31 different videos for him. And we cooked game. And you know, a lot of that game's got to be marinated, okay? So this same recipe will work for your best cuts of meat for game. For example, you have some venison, okay? That'll work as well. It's using red wine, so it works really good with red meats. Here we go. Black pepper, right in there. Look, I'm using a Ziploc bag. This makes a lot of sense, because you can marinate your meats, put them in an ice chest, take them where you're gonna go and cook them, or just dispose of the bag when you're through, and you don't have to use as much marinade as you would if you use a big bowl, okay? And trust me, it doesn't take up that much more room in your refrigerator. Okay, I did put the black pepper in there. Let's go ahead and add some aromatics, okay? How about garlic, fresh garlic? That's the key. So I'm gonna go ahead and press some fresh garlic right in there. Okay. Another aromatic, onions. Look at those beautiful onions. We're gonna take these green onions. Let me go ahead and slice these down to the center. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just give them a nice close chop right here. Just cut them down. You see how I hold my knife perfectly like that? Curl my fingers back. Do not hold your knife like this, because you really have less control. And when you're using a sharp knife, you want to protect your most important tools right here, your fingers, right? So in there goes the green onions. Now, zest. The skin of your citrus fruit has the flavor, so why throw it away? Take off this little part of the stem, okay? And then we're going to use our zester. This is a microplane, and it works very simply. You hold this in your hand, and this in your other. I'm right-handed, so I just, one swipe, look, one swipe, turn, one swipe, and just keep turning. I'm turning the fruit right here as I'm swiping with my microplane. So the zest and juice of 1 lemon. So this is an acid, and the acid is going to break down some of the tough tissues, but it also is going to enable a lot of the flavor to enter into the wonderful cut of meat that we have. So look, there's our zest. And now the juice, we're going to go ahead and cut the ends off. Cut our lemon right here in half. Using our juicer, I'm going to squeeze once, and then I'm going to flip it and squeeze again. And look how much more juice I get. Get it all out of there. I want to use all the juice in our fruit. Another flip. So as I said earlier, this is a perfect marinade for any of the red meats that you have. And if it's a tough cut of meat, you can do it overnight. I actually cooked so many variety of wild game that this is just a all-purpose marinade. Okay, so we have here red wine and Worcestershire sauce and soy sauce. Look at that. Get it all in there. And olive oil. I'm just giving a little bit of a shake, and then we're going to go ahead and place in. Now we're going to place in our steak right in there. Close up your Ziploc bag. Squeeze out any of the air. See, get that air squeezed out, and then close up the bag. And we'll just let it sit in the refrigerator for an hour or two. Come back and we've got some beautifully, deliciously marinated steak. Well, now it's been an hour. Look at that steak, it's so happy in there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it out, shake off any of the little bits and pieces on there, and then I'm going to pat it dry. I know it's got all those good flavorings and we worked so hard to put them in there, and trust me, the meat absorbed the flavors, okay? They really absorbed it, and I don't want it to be too wet when I put it into my hot pan. Okay, so now let's put in some butter and heat it up just a mite. And then we're going to go ahead and cook our steak. Oh, is it going to be so good. Now we're going to develop a little crust in there. That's what we want, a nice crust on both sides of the meat. So this way when you bite into it, you got that nice bite, that nice taste. The juices just flow openly. So good. So on this steak we added some flavors, and that was the whole key, is to make a steak that had a different type of a flavor. Lots of times when you go to different cuisines from different countries, they have different flavors. A lot of the flavors come from the spices that are there in the country. So for example, in Madagascar, it would be a lot of peppers, right? Nice peppercorns. Or if you were, say, in Indonesia, it'd be more like your cinnamon, or maybe some of the cumin, or some of the other spices that grow there. So that's the key thing. And so as you travel around the world, you'll see that there are many flavors to enjoy. And that's what we did today, because everything we do is about the flavor. Okay, look, our pan is hot. Let's take our steak and place it right in there. Cook on up. Yes. I'm going to move it around the pan, catch up all that butter in there, yes. Because now we're going to get a beautiful crust on the steak. All right, look at that. Look at that. Look at that crust. Oh my goodness, look. Check it out. Oh, that's so beautiful. And it just smells divine. The flavors are coming through. But let's hook it up some more. All right, I'm going to baste this in a little bit of butter. Get some flavors going on in here. Look, look, look. All right, come on, get that butter in there. Yes. So we added some beautiful flavors to the meat. The salt that was in the soy sauce, okay? The salt that was in the Worcestershire sauce helps to penetrate the flavors into the meat, okay? The fat that's in this beautiful steak, the marbling, the intermuscular marbling, is now causing the steak to be tenderized. So we have tender, flavorful steak coming up. Does it get any better than that? You know, this is what it's all about. And as I said, if you were using some tougher cuts of meat, like maybe some top round, you could definitely marinate it overnight, and it would certainly give more flavor to the meat. But this tender cut of meat, because of all the marbling, it really does not necessitate a lot of marinating. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's see how the other side is holding up, because we want that beautiful color on there. Okay, it's almost there, so I'm just going to move it around, capture all the butter flavor, all the goodness that's in this pan. Don't let any of it escape. You know when that steam is going up, okay, the liquid is evaporating. They call that the angel share. So the angels are enjoying this just as well as the rest of us down here on this side. Okay, it's almost there. Let it cook for maybe about another minute. Well, we've got that gorgeous crust on both sides of our steak. So what we're going to do is just take it right out of the pan and place it right here. I use my thermometer, and I got 135 degrees, which tells me that it's a perfect rare to medium rare. So it does need to sit for about 3 to 5 minutes before we go ahead and cut into it and enjoy it. Well, there it is, our delicious, oh my goodness, the aroma is just amazing. This is the best marinated steak you will ever enjoy. So, you know, you gotta hit that like button. Also, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share. And, you know, we have so many wonderful recipes. We got 13 steak recipes, and every one is a winner, I guarantee it. So, support us on Patreon. It really helps. It helps us to develop all these great recipes. Also, we're going to give you exclusive content. Because you're a Patreon member, you get to see the videos before anybody else does. We'll even show you some behind the scenes action, and we're going to do it all without any ads. I mean, doesn't it get any better than that? Thank you so much for your support. And remember, when you're cooking with Chef Don, it's just absolutely simple and absolutely delicious.